Thank
Mr.
you,
Olson.
Mayor.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn the time initially here to Fred to give a city performance report on the airport, and then when he finishes, I'll have some additional comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. My name is Fred Segundo. I'm the director of the Corpus Christi International Airport, and I really want to start with highlighting and reviewing some of the or three key components of the city's performance reporting, CPR. I know I'm going to mess that up earlier or later, but the baseline information, which is the blue box over on the left-hand side, really contains kind of historical information, key statistics specific to the departments. The operational profile points out significant changes in operations that would affect comparability of results. As an example, if we lose several rental cars, then that'll impact our rental transaction days and potentially revenues and those type of things. The main table at the bottom has our department's mission, our mission elements, our goals, our measures, and our actual results. So that's kind of the layout. I know it's been a long break, so I kind of wanted to review a little bit. These three components not only allow the department heads to see if they've achieved the desired results, but also help us identify trends and also conduct benchmarking against other cities, and in our case, other airports. So I want to highlight a couple of the baseline information for the airport. First and foremost, full-time employees. We've had a 15% reduction in FTEs, and that was by design. We have been reorganizing the department to gain efficiencies. We've built a new maintenance facility that has helped us consolidate a lot of the maintenance work in one department, or one division, should I say. And we've also hired a management company to run our parking lot. And again, that's helped us reduce FTEs. I want to talk about employments because that all airports kind of track that one key baseline information. And as you can see, we've been trending down for quite a few years. Even though the information here is by fiscal year, the FAA typically provides information in calendar years. And I'm here to give you some good news because in calendar year 2013, the airport was up approximately 2% in employments. We had a banner fourth quarter with September and December actually going to double digits over last year. So that's a good trend, although it doesn't really reflect it here. I just wanted to point that out. We did have some decline, particularly in the total aircraft arrivals and departures. Now that was anticipated. We are doing operations on just one runway instead of two, so that's anticipated. We don't expect those numbers to come back up until we finish our main runway sometime in April of 2015. So those are tracking as we anticipated. On the operational profile, I just want to highlight two things. The number of based aircraft, and in particular general aviation, that's going to be one of our priorities next year. According to a study that TxDOT Aviation did on economic impact, they do have a big economic impact on our community, and so we're going to emphasize that. We're going to be building some public ramps, some wash racks, commercial self-fueling stations, and eventually a commercial aviation complex to help us bring those numbers up. We want to get, our goal is over the next 5 years to bring it up to at least 100 based aircraft like we had back in 2000. The other item that I want to highlight is major airlines. We have 3 major airlines. But one of the interesting things about our airlines is they all share equal shares of the market. In other words, when we ended FY 2013, they were all at 33, I think 32, 31, kind of only one, which means that we have 3 healthy airlines. And as we get those employments up, hopefully they'll continue to share in that success. On the main matrix, our department's mission is relatively simple. It's provide access to airport transportation and aeronautical services. It's very simple but very complex. And the way we do that is by trying to track 4 of our key mission elements, and to maintain all city-owned facilities on the airport, to manage all airport operations, to manage all leased property within the perimeter of our airport, and to plan and develop the expansion of our airport. And I want to highlight very quickly some of those matrix here. Let me see if I can push this up. The first one is the percentage of airfield inspection discrepancies versus total inspection. And I think this is kind of highlights and illustrates exactly what the CPR does for us. This is a trend over time, and as you can see, our maintenance on the airfield was trending down, and then you see a bleep, a high point. Well, that helped us as a department highlight that and basically surge some maintenance in there to bring that trend back to where it needs to be. This is just kind of one of the examples of this program that helps us as directors identify what we need to concentrate on. Also on maintenance, we're holding steady over 65% of maintenance, percentage of maintenance costs spent on proactive maintenance. That's really important for us because the more we spend on proactive maintenance, the better off we'll be. When we get to a point where we start to spend more on reactive maintenance, that means our maintenance program is not working. So we're trending fairly well on that, well over 65%. That's kind of the summary of our, and I have to look at it. It's CPR, because I'll call it CRP. It's our designator for the airport. So it's CPR. Any questions?
Ms. McIntyre.
Thanks. I just had one. I don't know if it's more observation or question, but rental car transactions are up, but employments are down, which to me makes me wonder if it's that we're getting a lot of people here, but we're still wanting to drive and fly out of somewhere else. Are we seeing a lot of success with your big advertising campaign of trying to get people to recognize that it's really good for us to fly?
It really is, but one of the things that we saw that trend also, and what we found out is that as pricing in airline prices went up, people are staying longer in the destination. In other words, the transaction period, which was averaging, I think, like 3 days, went up to 4. So people are staying actually longer, and I'm assuming it's to do business and not having to travel back and forth too much. That's at least that's the information that we got.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Or not only business, but stay longer to enjoy our beautiful
Absolutely.
region.
Leisure travel also.
Yeah. Any other council members? Mr. Garza?
Yeah, just a quick question. I see that we've got I guess we've got a PCI index of 50, and we've got a program in place we've got a major project to do one of the major runways. Is that PCI index going to go up when we complete that runway?
Yes, it will. Once we finish both of the runways, those PCI indexes will go up. They'll never reach 100%. They'll never reach at 100 because there's always some maintenance to do on that. But yes, on the runways in particular, we're hoping that those numbers, after we finish both of those runways, completely rehabilitate them. Not only are we doing the extensions, but we're rehabilitating the pavement itself. With a cover or actually some base in certain areas, and that will go up definitely.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Mr. Segundo. Appreciate the update and the city performance report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Olson.
There are several other items I would like to report on, Mayor. You heard a citizen comment a few minutes ago about the litter issue. I wanted to give you an update on the charge the council gave to me and the staff on the litter. I think back in October, middle of October, you asked us to take what was then the plastic bag issue and expand it to include more emphasis on litter, to get more citizen input, to evaluate our whole approach to dealing with litter and plastic bags. While we have been busy doing a lot of things over the past couple of months, this is one of the things we've been working on. and there's been a lot of research, a lot of work done. It's our intent to report out and make recommendations to the City Council on January the 28th. I think by that time, we're still actively working this issue, but by that time, I believe all of our staff work will be completed and we'll be able to make our recommendations to the council. We have actively looked at consolidating our ordinances. We have a lot of litter provisions throughout our code, but they're scattered, and we've looked and worked to bring them into one place so that we have all of the effective ordinances in one location. We'll be we'll be looking at increased enforcement activities, a lot of which we can do without further direction or resources from the City Council. It's a matter of consolidating and emphasizing the resources that we currently have, and we'll report on that on the 28th. We'll be looking at increased education and information. We'll be looking at a system of measuring the effectiveness of the work we do on litter. At this point, we've already established a baseline that we can use, and we'll report more thoroughly on that on the 28th. We're going to talk about the costs of a program. I think up to this point, we have not had much discussion about the financial impacts of any kind of a program we might do. Certainly that needs to be part of the City Council's decision making, and we will have cost estimates on our recommendations as well. You also asked us to get stakeholder input before we came back to you. We have been actively talking with various stakeholders. We still have a little bit of discussion to do with several key stakeholders that we've identified, and we're going to hold a forum on January the 22nd, 6:30 here in this room. The intent is to have, as we've had input from key stakeholders, we realize that there may be stakeholders that we're missing that may want to weigh in on this. And so we're going to open this up and have a forum, an opportunity for people to come in and talk to the staff and tell us their thoughts on litter and plastic bags and enforcement, so that we can take that into account as well before we report to you on the 28th. The forum that we're planning for the 22nd here in this room at 6:30 will be televised. We'll take advantage of our technology so that a person could actually watch it at home, but I think we're going to attempt to make it interactive so that they can watch a live presentation and call in with a question so they don't have to physically be here. And we're going to test our technology on that event as well. So that's in motion, and I think the most important part I wanted to convey to you today is that we'll be reporting out to the City Council with our recommendations on the 28th of this month. I've previously reported to you that we're going to do some reorganization with our public works functions. Those efforts are underway, and a good portion of that has been completed as of this date and seems to be going really well. Code enforcement, we talked about shifting emphasis on that and nesting that function in a different department, and again, that is underway. We're beginning the execution of that change. We've spent time on a selection process for our city attorney. You have an item on your agenda a little bit later. We'll ask you to confirm an appointment and meet, assuming you approve the appointment, meet our new city attorney. We spend a lot of time on another key position, and that is our facilities maintenance director. We interviewed several good candidates. Unfortunately, we have not been able to arrive at a satisfactory arrangement, and it looks like I'm going to have to start that process over again. We've also talked to you about a planning request for proposal and working out a contract on that. I fully anticipate that before the end of this month, we'll have a contract to put in front of the council for execution. So while that has been a little slower than I had hoped, we are making progress and should see a conclusion to that by the end of January. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, there was a celebration, a community celebration last evening regarding the excuse me, the unmanned aerial systems project that the university has been working on. The Federal Aviation Administration has selected Texas A&M Corpus Christi as one of 6 test sites in the nation. The news has appropriately covered that, and many of the council members were in attendance last night. But I just wanted to mention that in our meeting because I think that it has such a significant impact and such a potential impact on this community and this region. Not only does it bring a lot of research and current activity, but it has the potential of opening up an entire new field of performance, economic performance, and a whole new technical field for, well, really for the world. And I think it would be easy to pass over this and not notice how really significant it is for our community. So we're really proud of that and looking forward to participating in all of that activity. And Mayor, with that, I'll conclude my remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Olson, and I appreciate your participation last night at the event. And also, Mr. Wes Pearson, thank you for your involvement and leadership in this initiative as well with our unmanned aircraft systems. I also want to acknowledge this, as I did last night, this council who has been very supportive and understands the bigger picture, and I'm very proud of this council, as well appreciative to the 4A board in their decision making and investing. I was talking to Chancellor Sharp last night, and that's the best rate of return I think we've ever gotten for $686,000. So well done. On a personal note, I do want to state that the reason I will not be here at the January 22nd Litter Ordinance Forum is I will be at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but this is about just making sure that we're getting the feedback and the conversation from the public and any other additional stakeholders. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate that meeting on the 22nd. And we will be listening. I'm sure the staff will be very capable in taking in that information. And just another point, as you stated, we will be meeting with our very important partners also with our retailers. And so keeping it all it's been very good on this most recent round, and we're going to have some substantive conversations, very inclusive. Thank you, Mr. Olson. Appreciate that. We're going to move forward to the minutes. Mrs. Huerta.
Mayor and Council, we present the minutes of the December 17th regular meeting for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion of approval. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion